Hey, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're playing Uncharted 4 on the PlayStation 4, which is an exclusive to the PlayStation 4. If you haven't played an Uncharted game, but have played one of the new Tomb Raider games, like Rise of the Tomb Raider or Tomb Raider, it's a lot like that. They borrow a lot from each other. The newer Tomb Raider games borrow a lot from Uncharted, and Uncharted kind of borrowed the idea from the older Tomb Raider games. I'm not starting at the beginning of the game. There's not really any spoilers here. I just thought this would be a nice representation of the visuals of the game and the way it looks without spoiling anything. I actually did finish it. This is a fantastic game. It's more of the same, which is exactly what I wanted. The story is great. The characters are lovable. I sounded really cheesy when I say lovable. I should have just said likable. But I really enjoy watching these characters interact with each other. Tomb Raider Rise of the Tomb Raider. I haven't played the Xbox One version, but I did play the 360 version, which actually had all the gameplay intact. It just wasn't as pretty, and it had the story and stuff. I think this story is a little bit more interesting, but you have to understand that this is the fourth Uncharted game, even though there's a ton of Tomb Raider games before Tomb Raider, which was the reboot. It was actually a reboot, so like Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider are almost in their own universe. I don't know if they'll ever connect it to the original series or not, but that Lara Croft is very different from the Lara Croft that we know in the older games. So I feel like her character is still being developed, where Nathan Drake and company's character development has been fully fleshed out, which you went on all these adventures already with Nathan Drake. So I think the game has that going for it. This level's a bit tricky because since it's raining, Nathan Drake can't really grip on everything as well as he usually can. So he can't really jump to another platform or anything like that, which kind of adds a challenge to the game. Hopefully this level turns out looking good on the video recorder. There's a lot of fine rain. This is one of the best rain effects I've ever seen. There's a lot of cool things in this game, but I wanted to show you a level that showed you the gameplay but didn't spoil anything. And there's some vehicle segments, which is new to the series, as well as a rope mechanic. And there's also see, he can't jump to grab the ledge. Usually he could in the other games. You have to kind of use the analog stick to guide his hand, but which feels kind of new. He kind of did it more automatically. Everything kind of feels more fluid in this game. Obviously there's a lot more animations. The facial expressions and everything have improved, but with Naughty Dog's games I always feel like there's always subtle improvements in everything with each game that comes out. And since this is a new platform, obviously they're going to have opportunities to do things better than what they normally could. Sometimes I feel like when you're trying to reach over, it doesn't always grab onto everything. And I feel like I'm going to fall if I try to go on that ledge over there, but there's a ledge right here. You'll notice throughout this game with most of the things that you can climb, there's usually what appears to be bird shit on everything, or markings. I don't know what that white stuff's supposed to be, but it's literally on everything, even not in this level. But it's a good indicator. Mirror's Edge did something similar with the color red. Usually anything that was red in the game kind of gave you an idea where you were supposed to go. I guess I wasn't supposed to go. Oh, I was. I just finished this game and I already forgot. This is a game that I plan on replaying in the future several times. Between this and Doom, I've been really happy with the last couple of game purchases that I made. I'm usually always happy, but I'm really happy with this and Doom. Because sometimes they'll advertise a game at like E3 or whatever, and it doesn't live up to the trailer or whatever. This lives up to everything. This has multiplayer in it, but I have no desire to play it, at least right now. So I might skip it. Like, this just, I don't know, this series just never came off as a multiplayer game. This runs at 30 frames per second, and the multiplayer runs at 60 frames per second. They originally planned for this game to run at 60 frames per second. I don't know how the hell they would have pulled that off with the amount of detail in this game, but, you know, I'm very happy with it. But if you play the definitive collection or the Nathan Drake collection, whatever they call the remastered version, it does feel quite different from those games. And the way that how fluid aiming and stuff works, the aiming feels a little bit clunky in this version versus the remastered versions, I guess, because of the 60 frames per second. Not necessarily clunky, but I guess the remastered versions feel more fluid, would probably be a better word. It's not broken or bad in any way. It just feels different. Like, I could nail headshots a lot easier in the remastered versions than I could in this. The enemies are a lot smarter in this game too. They will flank you. The firefights are fair, but you will find yourself flanked more than I've been flanked in other games. Also, the environments are more destructible in this game, so when you try to hide behind cover and stuff like that, they're able to a lot of times mow it down with a machine gun, and you have to find somewhere else to go, and you'll quickly find yourself running out of places to hide and realize that you need to start shooting, and if you wait too long, they're going to find a way to get behind you. Not a lot of games I've experienced AI like that. A lot of times with games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, they kind of just line up in a row waiting to be shot. I think Battlefield has a little bit more of an advantage as far as that mechanic goes. I feel like the Battlefield's challenge factor is a little bit higher than Call of Duty. It's funny when you play Call of Duty single player and then play online. It's like and the same with Battlefield, but more so with Call of Duty, because Call of Duty just wants you to have fun and experience the story. So when you play it online, it's like a whole different world because you felt like you were a badass this whole time. You quickly realize that the game was just kind of letting you have fun. This is the rope mechanic. You can climb up the rope and down it. It's usually for getting to platforms like these you normally couldn't reach. It's kind of cool how the rope doesn't go into one direction. You actually can swing around things to find the platforms, which is really cool. I haven't really seen that in any other game. I'm playing on the floor with the lights on. I should have turned off the lights because playing on the floor and looking up at the TV, the lights reflect on the television. So where Nathan Drake is right now, I see the ceiling fan. See, now he can kind of jump and grab things, even though he seems to not have the best of luck. This game will scare you, even if it's like a... What would you call it? Like a... They already planned you like falling ahead of time or whatever. It's hard for me to think when I'm playing these games. It's hard for me to think in general when I'm doing anything that I know that's going to be on YouTube. Especially lately for some reason. I guess it's anxiety related, but I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing that shit. Well, it's been tough, regardless whether you're sick of hearing it or not. Especially making videos, but making videos is something, even though I've been struggling with lately, it's something I still really enjoy. I got to figure out how to get over there. Come on, grab the other rock, for crying out loud. No. See, sometimes you struggle with him reaching it. He doesn't always know what to grab, even though you're pointing right at it. And I had to rotate the camera for it not to be, for Nathan not to be confused anymore. Just because I simply wanted to go here, but I feel like I might be going backwards, which isn't what I want to do. I think that's where I went on the rope slide. I guess he can't jump that high. I think that would be backtracking. Sorry for going back and forth like this. I'm sure it's probably frustrating because you're probably yelling at the screen. You've already been there. I promise you I did finish this game. Finished it on Sunday night. I was proud and disappointed at the same time because it might be the last Uncharted game, at least made by Naughty Dog. I mean, the story definitely could have sequels or whatever, and I'm not going to spoil how it ends. It ends in a very interesting way, that's all I'll say. There is a Uncharted game not made by Naughty Dog. I can't remember who made it. Maybe Ready at Dawn or whatever. It's on the PlayStation Vita. I never finished it. It was like a free game. It's still on my Vita, I think, and I never finished it. There's just something about Naughty Dog's products that it just has a certain charm that just, in my opinion, can't be replicated. That Uncharted's not a bad game. It just feels like you're going through the paces a little bit more than experiencing something new. And all the Uncharted games are pretty much similar. Like, you know what you're getting into in this game. It's just a nicer version. And it has some quirks. And it does things a lot better than the PlayStation 3 could ever do. It's one of the best looking games I ever saw. I still think Ratchet and Clank look really good too. I just think it's a different art style. This goes more for realism, and the actors that portray these characters do an amazing job. You actually feel for them. Since you're looking for pirate treasure, I love the aesthetics of everything when you start exploring some of the pirate-oriented areas. It reminds me of the Goonies, especially like some of the traps and stuff like that. I don't know if any of you were a fan of the Goonies. I guess it depends how old you are when you saw the film. I like how he writes things in his notebook and you can look at the pages. He didn't really do that. He had a notebook in the other games, but he interacts with his notebook a bit more. And I like his little jokes and sarcastic, witty remarks that he puts in his book. And his book's overall more interactive as well. like when you solve a puzzle, he wrote all these little square pieces of paper down in order to figure out how it fit together. You had to flip everything over and stuff like that. And then there's this new sliding feature that this game has with this that I jumped too early on because I can't see with the ceiling fan reflected on the screen. There we go. And one thing I do like that Nathan Drake does a little bit better, and I love the Tomb Raider games, don't get me wrong, and I would love to get the PlayStation 4 version of Rise of the Tomb Raider because I like the Xbox 360 version so much. I'd like to get a better looking version of it and experience what everybody else did. Not a lot of people bought the 360 version. If you have a 360 and you don't have anything really to play and you haven't tried that out and fear that you're going to get a shitty port, I do definitely recommend checking it out. I collected all this stuff. I must have forgot. I went back to an old chapter, but I figured it would save everything, but it didn't. It restarted everything from scratch apparently. But yeah, the traps remind me of the Goonies, which is a really fun movie if you haven't seen it yet. I think adults can enjoy it, but obviously someone my age or whatever definitely has a nostalgia factor with the film. Like, so if it came out when you're older, maybe you didn't enjoy it as much. I don't know. I know there's all different age groups of people that watch my videos, so I have to try to keep everybody in mind. I remember this was actually on a really early E3 demo. I wonder if it ran at a different frame rate on that demo. This is sort of an aspect they borrowed from Tomb Raider. Lara Croft has a pickaxe and Nate just has a busted ass spike. Laura actually can climb with her pickaxe. Nathan just kind of stabs the ground and hopes there's a platform to climb nearby. He must be the bravest human being alive. The foliage in this game is really nice. And the levels are a little bit bigger. I know a lot of people are saying how much bigger they are than the original Uncharted games, but I think they're just a little bit bigger. I think there's just more detail in the levels. I think the driving levels are bigger though. And there's more places to go, but like levels like this I think are just more detail. I mean, look how much shit there is in this level, like all that geometry. It's amazing. If you like the other Uncharted games, any of them, I highly recommend you playing this if you have the ability to play this game. This is one of those games where you kind of feel bad for people who aren't able to enjoy this game. He doesn't have a gun yet. There's also stealth sections like this where you can hide in the grass and grab people and choke them out. So some fights are optional, although I always tend to get in them. Maybe stealth wasn't ever my thing, I don't know. Maybe that's why I haven't finished Thief yet. I did finish Dishonored. I have the definitive edition I'd like to try out at some point. And then I don't know if Dishonored 2 coming out this year. I don't even know. I'm probably going to die, just to let you guys know. But at least you know what the shooting looks like. And this has typical hide behind something recharge mechanics, but like I said, there's a lot of times in these levels where you'll hide behind something and they'll just shoot it down. Right now we're lucky and there's rocks and stuff you can hide behind. Just gonna punch you out. Sometimes it's just easier to do that than try to shoot them. And unfortunately, one of my biggest pet peeves are the guys that wear armor. They're a pain in the ass. The ones that you have to shoot in the head 50 times. It's my only pet peeve about the Uncharted games are those guys. They always get on my nerves. I don't care what game it is. But you learn how to deal with it. If you punch or you push punch while you're in the air, he'll actually do a diving punch and land on the enemy and knock him out. Out of all my Uncharted videos, this probably shows the most of how these types of games play. I push punch, but he dropped before he could do anything. And now he's hiding there. It'd be so cool if Naughty Dog are even though it's technically, I think it's still Crystal Dynamics they call themselves, that make the Tomb Raider game, the newer Tomb Raider games. Core made the original, and then Crystal Dynamics made the 3 Tomb Raider games, Tomb Raider Legend, Tomb Raider Underworld, the Tomb Raider Anniversary, and I think they also made the reboot games. But if Crystal Dynamics or whoever made the reboot games or Naughty Dog, I think they would make the perfect Indiana Jones game. I think Naughty Dog would be the best at it, because Nathan Drake is essentially a lot like Indiana Jones with his attitude and his dialogue and stuff like that. I think they got the rope mechanic down. You could easily replace that with a whip. I just think they do a better job of the Indiana Jones with this aesthetics. Tomb Raider kind of has more of a survival aesthetics, and it's a lot more serious, where even though Indiana Jones could be serious, there were like some B-movie tongue-in-cheek moments. I'm gonna die, especially I got a fucking sniper around here. I can't see the sniper, but pretty much fucked. And then there's a guy with a grenade launcher. So luck is definitely on my side. And grenades. Anyway, I think this video shows you enough of everything. It's a great game. If I had to pick the best Uncharted game, I don't honestly know which one to pick anymore. I really liked Uncharted 2, but this one is really up there with Uncharted 2. I like them all almost equally. Probably the Vita one would probably be the less. That wasn't made by Naughty Dog though. But all the Naughty Dog ones, I don't know, they're kind of same. I know for a fact that one isn't my favorite, but it's still a good game. But this is pretty up there with 2. This game's still new, so it's fresh in my head, so I don't really have a way to look at it retrospectively right now, so I really can't pick a favorite. But This is an amazing game, and if you own a PlayStation 2, I would definitely consider it being part of your library if you're able to get it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was interesting and gave you a good idea of what this game was like, and hopefully shows how awesome it is. Hopefully everything will show up, especially the rain, because I know the video recorder doesn't pick up everything crystal clear as if you were watching on the TV. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Take care. Bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe! Thanks for watching!